How did you get with Nicole Riegel to do this film?
The script was sent to me, and I just really connected with Dandelion's journey as an artist. I think a lot of the things that we see her wrestling with, I've also wrestled with. I've asked myself those same questions, and I just read this script and said, yeah, I really want to do this, especially Dandelion is from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I'm also from Cincinnati, Ohio, so I knew it would be an opportunity for me to go back home, an opportunity for me to share my musical side, which I hadn't done yet. And so I spoke to Nicole, and I heard her vision for the film, and I said, yeah.
Hey, what's her name, by the way?
Dandelion.
No.
Well, it's the name I'm giving you.
Have you ever shared your musical abilities before?
Not really, like in small little brief moments. Actually here in Chicago, like I performed with a friend a couple times and like put out a song or two on SoundCloud at some point, and like that was it. So this is the first time that I'm really like leading with my music and really letting people know, hey, I sing, I write music, and it's a very exciting time for me, honestly, as an artist.
How much did you get to collaborate with the music? What songs did you work on?
That was actually a big part of the conversations that Nicole and I first had when I joined the project. The composers for the film are Aaron and Bryce Dressner from The National, and while they're absolutely amazing at what they do, they were 45-year-old white guys writing music, you know, for a 30-year-old black woman. And so we all had to come to the table and just acknowledge, like, hey, there's a disconnect here, and like how Dandelion, now that she's living in this black body, how she might express herself musically versus what the Dressners were writing. And so two songs where we all really came together, like, okay, how do we bring a bit more of me into this, and not necessarily Kiki Layne, but just like the experiences, you know, that I have as a black woman, the culture, the melodic and rhythmic understandings, like how do we bring more of that into this music? And so the song Over the Rhine was definitely something that came out of that. Over the Rhine is an area in Cincinnati that has been heavily gentrified, and there was a song that the Dressners and Nicole wrote called The Ghost of Cincinnati that referenced that area numerous times, and it kind of hit me of like, how can I be a black woman singing about this area and not talk about the gentrification that has displaced so many people that look like me? And so from those conversations came that song, and then the same thing with the song River at the end, 10 Feet Deep. We just had to come together of like, there's something missing of like capturing everything that Dandelion has been through up until this moment, and like capturing whatever version of her artistry that she's discovered throughout this journey. And so it became, you know, that finale moment at the end.
Well, especially since you knew so much about Cincinnati.
Exactly. So it was nice that Nicole and the Dressners, you know, gave me space to bring more of myself to that. And I think Nicole just appreciated that I, as an actress, was willing to pour more of myself into the music and be that vulnerable and that open with my own experiences. Like, the experience of watching Over the Rhine be gentrified is like, it's massive. I went to school in that area. I know what it was like before the version that it is now. And so I'm just grateful that Nicole and the Dressners made space for me to pour, you know, that part of myself into the film, into the music.
What you said was it had gone through.
How much is your process of creation reflected in the movie?
I mean, I think it's I don't know, the process, it changes, you know, it depends on what you're trying to create, it depends on who you're creating it with. Like, I think that's something that we see Dandelion experience when she starts writing songs with Casey.
And you follow me on the road that day.
Like, it changes her sound a bit, you know, she's exploring different melodies, different rhythms, you know, different ways of expressing herself. And then I think, you know, the songwriting process, sometimes it just comes out of you. Like, Over the Rhine kind of just came out of me because I think what I was talking about was so visceral. It meant so much to me that it's kind of like the lyrics just started coming out. And then some of the stuff is kind of like River, where I didn't write the majority of those lyrics, but finding the melody and the composition was like a journey. Just like you try one thing, it's like, that's kind of weird. You try another thing, also kind of weird. Less weird, but not, quite the thing. And so I think this movie really speaks to that process and how sometimes you just nail it. It's like, yeah, I did that. And then sometimes you're like 4 days into trying to create something, and you're like, why did I choose this life?
What did you learn most from doing this film?
What did I learn most? It's weird. It's something I've always known, but I think it just reignited for me, like how much I love music. I love music. I love writing music. I love singing. I love the creative process, like just being able to dig into the process of songwriting the way that I was able to on this film. It just reignited. I'm like, I love this so much. Like myself and Noah Harmon, who was actually hired to be our guitar teacher and became our music supervisor because he became so hands-on in the music. Those like first 2 weeks when we were in South Dakota, we would just sit in a motel lobby. I forgot the name of that motel. And we would just sit at a table in like this like really grungy motel, and we would just like try to crack these songs. We would just try to figure it out. Like when I said like River was more of a process of like, what is this rhythm? What is the melody that like really captures everything that Dandelion has been through? He would like play something on a guitar. I try a few lines. No, that doesn't work. Try something else. Ooh, maybe we're onto something here. I need to move these lyrics here. This is really dumb. This isn't working. Like, so I think it just connected me back to like, I love it. I love music. I love creating music.
Was that you shredding it?
I wish. Every single time that you see Dandelion playing guitar, it is actually Noah Harmon. Thank you, Noah. I just got to be up there playing Guitar Hero and living my best life.
So what's your next? I understand that you would like to be a superhero.
Yes. I love, look, doing the Old Guard like opened up a whole new world for me of action film, and I'm like, I want to do more of that. I felt like such a badass doing the Old Guard. I'm like, it's me and Charlize Theron going toe to toe. Kind of got my ass whooped, but it's okay. But I'm like, I loved the physical storytelling, so I definitely want more of that, and I want more opportunities to
Maybe
make music.
Dandelion could become a superhero.
Or maybe she'll write the theme song for the next superhero.
There you go.